Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. So, welcome back everyone to the diabetes prevention health series. And then, as always, this is our program structure. We will be meeting 6 virtual sessions every other Monday from 9 to 10. Today is our 3rd session. Some of you guys have been doing this asynchronously and watching the recordings if you missed a class. Again, we will ask for a survey after class for you to log in your weight, your fasting glucose, your steps, and your activity. Yeah. Our summary is, we want you to stay active for 150 minutes weekly. And that's logging in your weekly activity minutes, your daily and weekly pedometer totals. If you can keep a weight log, and of course, tracking your food as best as you can. Does anybody want to share what went well the past 2 weeks with us? Okay.
You can unmute if you want to just speak up. We have a small enough group that you can chime in.
Oh, I think you're still muted, Gloria.
So this is this is Judy Wieneman, and I just wanted to kind of note for myself and for others that we have been adding more vegetables and fruit to our diet, and we haven't had meat actually in 2 weeks. We've been having tuna fish and salmon and sardines, and being aware that vegetables we used to go in spurts, you'd have a lot of vegetables and then all of a sudden it would dwindle down to French fries and that kind of stuff. But we've been really trying to concentrate on eating better and having more vegetables.
Yeah, I think it's really just trying to stay consistent. I think everybody does the waves of, we're eating well and then we're, no longer picking like the side salad and we're choosing the, French fries like you said. So thank you for sharing. Does anybody want to share anything that didn't go so well? Gloria, I think you're
Okay.
muted.
It's me again. I find it difficult to get as many steps. Well, impossible to get to 10,000 steps. Impossible also to get to 5,000 steps unless you're in a store or you go shopping in a mall. If you're just around the house or even going to the gym, it's very, very difficult. I never realized how difficult it is. But if I have 2,000 steps or maybe 3,000, I consider that a lot.
Yeah, I always thought just working because I'm always like in my office, going into a exam room, coming back, walking. I would have like tons of steps, but I think I average 6,000, and unless I make an effort to go before work or after work, getting to the 10,000 it is pretty difficult.
Ida,
Yes.
this is Gloria. I don't have any problem with my steps. I do a lot of exercise every single day. For 1 hour, I am in the pool. 1 hour. I have 3 other exercise classes that I also attend: balance, fall prevention, and a Chinese exercise class that is also 1 hour. I have over 10 and a half hours of exercise every week.
Okay.
My question is regarding this watch that you set out. I take it off for 2 hours when I go to the pool. The readings on it do not match the Fitbit that I have. Just to give you an idea, let's see, because I do it every single day. Last night, I had 17,643 steps. I normally run between 12 and 16,000 steps every single day. And that's with it off for 2 hours when I go to the pool. I don't understand the reading of this wristwatch that I have. I've written down the numbers. They don't mean anything to me. Can you explain, like last night when I had the 17,000 steps that were recorded on my Fitbit, the watch that you gave me, I can give you the 3 readings that I had. I don't know what they mean. The first one was 22.38. The second reading was 0.84. The third reading was 52.4. What do these readings mean?
I believe that 22.8 is the steps. It would be 22,000, or was it 3.38? 380 steps. Yeah. And then the next readings are kilometers and miles, I believe.
I don't know what the readings are, but they don't seem to match my reading on my other watch. I just don't understand it. Now,
So, I mean, obviously a Fitbit is going to be a more, accurate watch because it is a more expensive watch. These are kind of, like I think Judy's husband mentioned that when he played cards, the pedometer we gave out, picked up some of the steps. It's the movement that you're doing. So something like a Fitbit, if you have one, I would just go with that then.
Oh, and don't get concerned that these aren't matching up.
Yes.
Because I've been keeping a log for 2 years now on my steps.
Yeah.
And, they don't vary much.
Yes. I would say for accuracy, I bet your Fitbit is better.
Okay. I know that I'm very, very active as far as steps are concerned.
Yeah.
And I do eat a lot of vegetables. I've been trying to cut back because I think I just eat too much, period. And I drink a lot of milk. I go through 2 gallons every week. But what I've done with my milk, instead of drinking 2%, I'm now started drinking 1% to see if that will make a difference. I'm not overweight, but I am pre-diabetic, so that's my concern.
Okay. I think the 1% will make a difference.
Yeah.
Did anybody else want to share anything before we move on? Okay, so we'll go to the next step. So today for lecture 3, we are going to talk about getting even more active and ways to increase your activity level and to burn more calories than you take in. So you've been doing a great job of getting active. Today we'll just talk about how to get even more active. Getting more active can help you prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. We'll talk about the purpose of getting more active, some ways to get more active, and how to track more details about your fitness. The purpose of getting more active is to allow you to reach your fitness goal for this program. As you know, the goal of this program is to get at least 150 minutes of activity each week. Your pace should be at least moderate. To find out, again, if you're being at a moderate pace, you should do the talk test. And the talk test is when you can talk but not sing through your activity. And of course, the thing is, over time, your heart and lungs get into better shape. So in order to get the same effect on your breathing, you'll need to do a little more active each week. And this is ways to get more active. This is Olga's story. Olga is at risk for type 2 diabetes. So she's trying to get a little more active each week. Her goal is to be active for at least 150 minutes per week at a moderate pace. Week 1, Olga takes a gentle stroll around the block. It takes her about 10 minutes. She does this for 3 days that week. Week 2, Olga walks around the block 2 times. It takes her 17 minutes, and she does this 5 times that week. In week 3, Olga walks around the block 3 times. It takes her 21 minutes, and she does this for 7 days that week. In week 4, Olga follows the same walking schedule as she did in week 3, but she adds in some hills to her routine. One day she does 2 sets of 3 reps with resistant bands. And then in week 5, Olga follows the same walking schedule as she did in week 3. And for 2 days, she does 3 sets of 5 reps with resistant bands. And so you see how Olga progressively got more active. And then how does Olga make her walks more active from week 1 to week 3? Anybody want to answer? So Olga, for this one, she walks longer, faster, and further, and up to steeper hills. She was doing a gentle stroll, 1 block. It took her 10 minutes. But by week 3, she was walking around 3 times for 21 minutes. So she was doing 1 lap for 7 minutes. So she's cut down her time from 10 minutes to 7 minutes for the 1 block around the park. And then, so some other ways that Olga could make her walks more active. During week 4, she added more ways to build her muscle by adding reps, muscle weighting reps. So she could add like a 1-pound can when she's walking. If you have grandchildren, you can push a stroller. You can also get 1-pound ankle or hand weights that you could use while walking. And then, you know, we always talk about sets and reps. So reps are basically repetitions of how many times you're using like a dumbbell or a resistant bands, and then a set is how many of a group of reps. So if we're doing, you know, 3 reps for 5 sets, so you could just do 3 dumbbell, you know, what are these, bicep curls? You do 3 reps and then you do it 5 times. And that's something you could add to your walk. And then if we go back to the story, Olga uses a resistant band to get more active from week 4 to week 5. And then that's when she's using more reps per set. So instead of 3 reps, she could do, she did 5 reps that with her resistant bands. And that's how you could build up for more activity. And these are ways to get more active. Again, you could do bicep curls with cans while you're standing, or that's supposed to say marching. You could do more reps or more sets. You can change your ankle weights from 1 pound to 3 pounds. You can push a stroller while you walk. You can try to get more steps per day. So if you're getting 6,000 steps a day, you know, if you're trying for next week, maybe 7,000 steps per day, or you could do a week total. You can walk further, you can walk faster, you can walk longer, and then you can go up hills. And then here's just an example of how to build your muscles. You know, wall push-ups are nice. I think they put a little less strain on you than the regular push-ups, and you can go as far away from the wall or as close to the wall being closer means that it'll be easier. So as you get stronger, you can think about moving your feet a little further back. And then you want to face the wall, stand a little more than arm's length, and then keep your feet flat on the floor, shoulder width apart. Then you lean forward with your palms flat against the wall at shoulder height and shoulder width, and you slowly breathe in as you bend your elbows and lower your upper body towards the wall. And you try to do a slow, controlled motion. And then you hold that bent elbows for 1 second, and then you breathe out and push yourself back to when your arms are straight. You could maybe just do 3 reps, and then you would maybe the next day or every other day try to build up to 4. And then I think we try to have you do 10 reps for 3 sets to help build up your arm muscles. So we talk about tracking more details about your fitness. So, you've been doing a great job tracking your minutes of activity each day, and that's key to the program. In order to see if you're getting more active, it's helpful to track some more details about your fitness. It's not a requirement, but it might be just good to add in a little bit more details. Besides minutes, reps, and sets, what are some other details about your activity you could track? What are some ways to measure your activity, and what are some ways to record your activity? Ultimately, you'll want to write down details in your activity log. And these are ways to track more details about your fitness. You could track calories burned, like if somebody has like a more sophisticated watch. I have a Garmin watch, so anytime I do an activity, like yesterday I played soccer for 60 minutes. So I always turn on my soccer mode, and it will tell me, how many miles I ran and how many calories I burned. So that day for soccer, I burned 461 calories. So or if you don't have that, you can, instead of doing steps, as Gloria mentioned, there's a couple other modes to the tracker, and it has the distance there. You could also track the grade of hills, your speed, and if you were lifting weights. You can use a clock, a watch, your fitness tracker, pedometer, some smartphones, and a treadmill. I think a lot of smartphones will have a stepper on there also, or also like a GPS, so you can take it with you and it'll show you what your distance is on your smartphone. Of course, we want you to plan for success. I'm sorry?
These are excellent, excellent ideas. I never think to even track, because I put on my watch first thing in the morning, whether I'm out in the yard blowing leaves, or whether I'm sweeping the patio or mopping the floors or folding clothes out of the dryer. I'm just active all day long. I think that's the important thing.
Yes, it's to stay moving.
Right, keep moving.
Keep moving, yes. So, I mean, these are all, examples of how more you can get active, and maybe you could, like Gloria said, just thinking about what you're doing all day, you can think of a new action plan, what's worked for you, what didn't work, and any changes you want to make. We always want you to be realistic, doable, specific, and flexible. And also, if you don't make it, that day, that week, that doesn't mean you give up. Maybe, you have to be more realistic with your time. I have all these goals myself, but I work full time. I have a 1-year-old and I go to grad school. So, I used to run, I think on average, 25 miles a week. That doesn't happen anymore. So I probably try to get in, like 6 miles a week. I got a Peloton, so it's less time consuming. So you have to almost adjust to what's going on with your life. But the idea, and ever since I started it with you guys, I have been more consistent in getting my activity for 150 minutes a week. And it's just knowing that, you know, if I could do anything. I take my son for a walk. We took a 1 hour walk, and he's heavy, so he's 30 pounds, and then the stroller. So it was really getting
Yeah.
pumping, you know, with him in there. But I got to spend time with my son. He really enjoyed it, and I got my activity. So there's so many ways that you can continue to stay active.
That's right.
Let's see. So then we talk about burning more calories than you take in. So as you lose weight, you know, and sometimes when you're more active, you're hungrier. So you have to almost be aware of, you know, what you're eating, you know, when you're really active. So we'll talk about the link between calories and weight, how to track your calories you take in, and how to burn, how to track the calories you burn, and how to burn more calories than you take in. So at the end of our class, there's a little calculator we'll do together, and it's going to kind of help us eyeball about how much calories you need to stay exactly at the same weight. And then you know, we'll go into a little bit detail. Again, a calorie is a measure of energy. And so whatever you eat or drink, you take in calories. And then when you're active, you burn the calories. And then I want you to imagine a balloon. Connect that balloon to a faucet. Then fill it halfway with water. And then you poke a small hole in that balloon. But you also turn on the tap so the small steady stream of calories goes into the balloon. So what's happening to the balloon? It's getting larger since more is going in through the hole. And then if you poke several more holes, you know, that balloon can stay the same size. But if you poke even more holes, you see that there's, you know, more water going out of the balloon than staying in. And that's kind of the same way you think about, you know, calories in and calories out. You know, if you're adding more calories, putting more water into the balloon than that you're using, basically what's coming out in the small hole, that balloon and you and me would just get larger and larger. And it'll stay that way unless we do something to get that calorie out or get that water out. Again, you know, 1 pound of body fat or weight is 3,500 calories, and 3,500 calories divided by 7 days, you want to think about maybe doing 500 calories less per day. You could take in fewer calories per day by changing your eating habits. And that's, you know, eating baked chicken instead of frying it, drinking water instead of soda or juice, having smaller portions, or changing your snacks from potato chips to carrot sticks or celery sticks. Those are ways you could take in 500 fewer calories. You could also burn 500 more calories per day by being more active, going further or faster, going up steeper hills, lifting heavier weights, taking more steps a day. Or the third option is a combination. You could cut calories per day through a mixture of eating and activity. And then you just want to think about what would be the best option that would work best for you. And then, so this is the how many calories do you need? This is the basic metabolic rate formula. You could do it this way. I could send it to you through the email, but there's a link that I'll send in the next slide, and then we could all do it together and kind of figure out the what you need for your basic and then metabolic calories. And then, you know, depending on how active you are, you have to times it by 1.2, 1.375. So someone like Gloria, she'll have to, you know, because she's very active or moderately active, she's going to times her calories by 1.725 or 1.55. So when we think sedentary, it's little or no exercise. And then if you're thinking lightly active, it's light exercise 1 to 3 days per week. And then moderate exercise is 3 to 5 days a week. And then if you're very active, it's 67 days a week. And then if you're very, very extra active, it is, you're very hard exercise, or, like you're an athlete, and you're training twice a day, those type of things. So if you, let's say your BMR is 1745, but you're not very active, you would just multiply that by 1.2, and your daily calories would be 2,094. And that's the total number of calories you need to maintain your current weight. Let's see, so this is the basic calculator that I found. Let me see if I can put it in the chat. And then everybody can click on it and calculate their own. Let's see. I don't know if I have to click here. Okay. So that's the calculator. Let me see if I can change my. Are you still seeing my screen?
Yes, we are.
How do I unshare my screen, Lisa?
To unshare your screen, you would kind of click at the top of the screen.
Yes. I
And
don't see the X. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it.
there you go.
Okay. I'm going to share my other screen. Okay. Can you see that? The Garnet Health? Are we seeing this, or?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So this is you would just make sure that you're in the imperial versus the metric. So we usually go in inches and by pounds. So I'll just do my example. This is me. I am 5 feet 3 inches, and I now weigh 130 pounds, and I am 37. So that would be 1343 would be my calories per day. And I would say I am, let's look at this. I am probably moderately active. So 1343, let me use my calculator. 1343 times 1.55. So my calorie intake to stay the same weight would be 2,082 calories every day. And then I'd have to figure out a way to kind of either eat less calories or burn more calories. Has anyone tried it themselves? Is it fairly easy?
I just entered mine. It was fairly easy.
Okay.
It's rather disappointing. It's such a low number. I feel like I'm going to have to stop eating all those cookies.
It's pretty surprising how low it can be.
This is a real downer.
It is a real downer. Think about if I wasn't active, 1,300 calories. I mean, I could eat that in one sitting, I think. So 1343 if I was sedentary. I mean, 1,600 calories is what to not gain weight. So let me just see. Stop sharing. I'll reshare my other screen. Okay, so. Okay. So And then this is just some easy, since we're really talking, because we're using the pedometer, we're talking about walking a lot, and it's something that everybody can do, requires no equipment. So I like to talk about walking, and you think about, every 100 calories is per mile that you're walking. So 1 mile, about 2,000 steps, is going to be 100 calories. So let me see. Gloria, she said that she was doing 17,000 divided by 2,000. So Gloria, just being as active as she is burning about 900 calories, 850 calories every day. But, her calorie intake is going to be a little bit higher. So she'll have to, and it's going to account for how active she is. And then we're thinking about mopping, 30 minutes of mopping is 85 calories burned. We don't shovel snow here anymore, but if you were somewhere cold, 30 minutes of that is 170 calories. Vacuuming, we talked about vacuuming, 30 minutes of vacuuming is 86 calories. And if you're making beds, it's 34 calories for making beds. And then if you did have grass, an hour of mowing the lawn, not on the one where you sit and drive, the one to actually push, is 340 calories. So, and then these are other examples of ways to burn more calories. You could go hiking, which is 370 calories for 1 hour, or half an hour is 185. Like light gardening and yard work, raking leaves, those type of things, half an hour is at 165 calories. Dancing for half an hour is 165. And then stretching, and then walking, it's about 140. We're thinking, 30 minutes in a moderate pace, you might be able to get maybe, a mile, or 3 miles, depending on how fast you're going. So you'll have to go with the mileage, not necessarily this number. And then on top of being active, you want to think about ways to eat fewer calories. So and then as mentioned earlier about the whole milk versus 2% milk versus the 1% milk, you could save calories by changing that. You can use a non-stick pan and avoid, oil. You could also, instead of extra cheese or meat, you can add more vegetables to your diet. And then instead of getting French fries, like we talked about, you could do some pineapples or even a side salad. And then where you're eating out and you're thinking about soups, you think about, maybe more of a vegetable soup instead of the cream soup, and you could save some calories. And then for dinner, instead of getting a whole meal, you could do a side dish or maybe an appetizer, and you could be saving yourself 138 calories. So there's just other ways that you could, decrease your calorie intake, either by eating less or changing some of your eating habits, or, getting more active, or like I said, probably the combination will be a little easier to get in than just eating less, or trying to burn 500 extra calories a day. Yes.
We had a question on the almond milk
Okay.
versus.
Yes. I believe almond milk is very low in calories. Let me look. As long as it's not the sweetened almond milk. You could do, I think the almond milk vanilla unsweetened is only 30 calories per cup. So that's going to be, look it up. Yeah, so it's 30 calories for an unsweetened vanilla almond milk. There was a 30. And then 1 cup of 2% milk is 122 calories. And then 1%. And then 1% milk is, has 110 calories for the 1%. And then if you go all the way to skim milk, it's 80 calories. So I think switching, Gloria, from 2% to 1%, you'll see a difference. And I always think about people drinking their calories. I see people with those like big gulp 32 ounces, that, they'll take to work and drink all day. I mean, those are like hundreds and hundreds of calories. That's the one thing I have changed. And I mean, I probably changed this a long time ago. I really just only drink water. My husband, we don't even keep juice in the house. We don't give my son juice at all. I think at some point when I was pregnant, I did like a teaspoon of like orange juice to my sparkling water because I needed something other than water. I was drinking like a gallon of water every day and I got sick of it and I couldn't do a lot of caffeinated beverages because normally I would do like a green tea unsweetened or something like that. And then I also had to learn to do my coffee without sugar. And you could really save yourself a lot of calories by either drinking your coffee black or I do mine with a splash of skim milk. So, but I used to be one of those people that would do like the caramel macchiatos and tons of calories with my drink. And so it took a while, but now I can't drink any of those sweetened drinks. So I don't know if I trained my taste bud, but I always think of it as a dessert. Like in the summer, I'll do one of those caramel frappuccinos, tiny little. I think they even have something smaller than their small drink, and I enjoy it. That's all, but that's all I could drink. Otherwise, I really don't like to drink that at all. I also do all my teas, no sugar. Maybe if I'm sick, I'll do a teaspoon of honey, but I think it really makes a difference is what you're drinking. And you don't ever think, that you're taking in calories because it's just something you're drinking. But if you're having, let's say, a glass of lemonade, a 12 ounce, that's 168 calories that you're adding to your daily total. If you're doing some juice, like juice itself, it's 168 calories for 12 ounces. And then, so really want to think about those things when you're trying to save some calories. I always say I like to eat my calories, not drink it. So I think that's why I've made a lot of changes for something like that. Okay. I think this is the part where we open up some questions, comments, anything you want to bring up with me.
And I had muted everybody, so all you have to do is click your unmute button, which is at the top of your screen, and we can just open it up.
So I'm just reading the Sharon's comment, is almond milk better than low-fat milk? If we're talking calories strictly, it is technically better because unsweetened vanilla almond milk is only 30 calories while skim milk is 80 calories. So, but I think it just depends on preference. I like skim milk, so I'll take those 50 calories, I guess. I'll have to find other ways to burn it or do less in my foods. So and Sue also said squeeze of lemon to the water. That's a good way to flavor your water. Did anybody have any questions? Was anybody other than Lisa surprised about how little calories you should be eating every day? Is everybody muted still?
You know, I'm sure that some people can relate, but back in the day, they always said like 2,000 calories. But it's funny how as you get older, it's no longer 2,000 calories. And
It isn't.
I this year hit that plateau where I want to continue to eat that 2,000 calories, and I should not.
Yeah. You can. You just have to go for like, what is that? How do you get 2,000 calories? About a mile. So that you have to do, you know, a couple miles a day of walking, I think,
Right?
to
Well,
even it out. And we
and you
just
ha-
get less active as we get older.
I personally, you asked what has worked, and I have been taking stairs instead of escalators when possible. I took several flights of stairs last night. My knees were feeling it,
Yeah.
but I did it.
Yeah, I always think about the small changes that we can make in our daily lives. Changing from 2% to 1% milk. Maybe you're already at skim and you want to do the unsweetened vanilla. Like those small changes. I never want anyone to make, large unrealistic changes, because that really you might be able to do it for the 12 weeks that we're together, but what happens? We go straight into the holidays. So you know you've been depriving yourself and just being super strict, and not really learning how to eat you know realistically for you, then it's never gonna work. A lot of times when people go on keto diets or really calorie restricting diets, they do well, they lose weight right away, but then it's not something they can sustain. So I want you to think of something that you can sustain. Make the small changes. Maybe you like to drink your juice every day. So maybe what you could do is, water down that juice. There's light calorie juice. You could try your squeeze of lemon to water, to decrease those calories. I just want you to kind of think about ways you can change. That's not a huge sacrifice. I really feel that a lot of people want to do tons of sacrifices, but it can only work for so long, I think. It has to be something realistic.
I have a question regarding sugar versus maltodextrin or sucrose or sucralose. All those artificial sweeteners that they put in.
Yes.
My thought is I would rather have a regular sugar or cane sugar. Like I
Yes.
read the ingredients of the things that I buy. And
Yes.
if it has sucralose or dextrose or any of those oses, I think that they are, I don't personally use them. And so I would go for something that had regular cane sugar or sugar as an ingredient rather than the artificial. So what is your opinion on that?
I'm not against regular sugar. I think you can have regular sugar. It's just you can't have too much regular sugar. Like everything in moderation. I don't know I think a lot of the sucralose and dextrose, too much of that can cause a lot of GI upset. So I try to ask people to do that also in moderation. But as far as I think it just depends on your body. So sugar is not the enemy. You just have to do less. If you do fine and you want to do like a sugar-free Jello, which I think would be like sucralose or something like that, because you have a craving for sweets, that would be fine also. As long as you can tolerate it. And stevia, which is supposed to be, all natural, could probably go with that. But I really don't really like the taste of fake sugars, so I do regular sugars. I just do less. Does anybody else have a comment?
I think that we're good.
Okay.
Gloria, if you're there, you had mentioned you wanted to talk after. Did you get your question answered? I think it was about the pedometer.
You're still muted.
I did get my question answered. It's been an eye opener for me because I just recently switched milk and I can see a difference already.
Okay, good. I'm glad. So, and also, like, I feel like I'm glad you went from 2% to 1% because sometimes people go from like 2% to skim, and like that big change really kind of shocks people, and then they can't stay with the skim.
I couldn't even tell the difference.
Yeah, so
It
you
tastes
know.
the same to me, but
Okay.
I didn't realize I was going through 2 gallons every week. Every week. I'm a big milk drinker.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how many calories I was taking in.
Yeah. So.
And here in Anthem, we do have many exercise classes that are available. We have yoga, we have chair exercises. There's there's a large variety of different programs a person can sign up for. We're very blessed in this community. Thank you for the session.
Oh,
Very
you're welcome.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad. So, is there any other topics? I am following like the CDC's diabetes prevention. I think the upcoming topics are, staying motivated, stress management, eating out is the next few topics. I think the next one is shop and cook to prevent type 2 diabetes, manage stress, and find time for your fitness is the next one. But the upcoming ones, we do talk about eating out and other topics. But I'd be more than willing to do a little research if anybody else had any questions or burning. And I can also ask my husband, who's a dietitian. So, but I want you to stay motivated. I want you to, take what you learned from this class and continue to make changes in your life. I don't necessarily think, and honestly, as we see the surveys, I can see people losing weight. I can see people's steps. I think we had a couple late surveys, but what we're going to do is try to give prizes to people who have, who won the steps or the activity minutes of the week of the 2 weeks. So I'll announce next week the winners of week, session 1, session 2. So if that gets you a little more motivated to up your steps, to beat Gloria, it sounds like is the person to beat. You will we'll send little prizes to you. So
Goodness.
if you want to drop off your charts and surveys to the office, you can bring that, or you could do it with the survey email that Lisa will send you. Whatever is easiest.
Can you address or talk about effects of sleep on weight gain or loss?
Okay. So if you are more active, you are gonna sleep better. losing weight also, you know, a lot of times if you're heavier, you know, we think about sleep apnea, obstructive sleep apnea, so that weight on your chest, you're just not sleeping as well. So losing weight does help you sleep a little bit better, and in really adding that activity. You know, sometimes if you're not active all day, you're kind of, you know, you don't get tired enough to sleep, is what I say. You know, you want to, my mom's very active and she sleeps like a champion. My dad's not so active and he kind of doesn't sleep as well. So, you know, and I noticed that if they go for their walks in the morning, you know, he sleeps better. So I think same for me. If I'm active in the morning, I am clearer, you know, throughout my work day, and I can get to sleep a little bit better. So, okay. There are some caveats. You don't want to exercise, you know, like 3 hours before bedtime, because that's going to keep you up. You know, you want to do at least 3 hours of your activity before bedtime.
It helps me go to sleep.
Yeah. Unless you do like a light stroll at night, you know, kind of like after dinner, you're just kind of, you know, walking through to help you relax. But I would say anything like moderate or heavy exercise, I would wait. You know, I would do it earlier before bedtime because it can keep you up.
Okay.
Okay. Great session, everyone. I'm excited for lecture 4. Again, if you want to send me an email, let me put it in the chat, prediabetes health series at gmail.com. If you think of something that you want me to talk about for the next class, spelled prediabetes wrong. That's the email, or you can email Lisa. She'll forward it to me.
Look, her hand is. What if it was a man?
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.